Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. It's the last one for the week. We promise to make you watch you well. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, on the show tonight, we hope to give you a slice of handball, even as we talk about grassroots sports development. We will also talk about club football, continental club football, talking about Nigeria's representative in the CAF Confederation Cup. We will also talk about the English Premier League. We're done with the internationals now. We can talk about club football, talk about the English Premier League, and also talk about Oscar Pistorius is in the news. Of course, we remember 10 years ago on Valentine's Day, of course, what happened, that tragic incident that, of course, landed him in jail. Of course, there are now talks that he's a reformed man and he might just be, getting out of the situation that he has found himself in. All right, that's the outlook of the show. It's a two-man show. My colleague Osno Konakman will join in, but first let me just quickly introduce our partner, our guest, rather. Of course, Shegun Vincent joins us now. Shegun, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Yemi. It's good to be back on the show. I was having a conversation with you before I joined in. I just hope to have a great show.
All right. It's, like I said, there's a lot to talk about. Hopefully, we will get some conversation around handball, and when it's time for that conversation, we'll let you know. But let's set the ball rolling. Maybe we should just start off looking at of course, the CAF Confederation Cup. At some point, we'll get back to handball because that's going to be the major thrust of this first part of the show. But Shegun, let me interest you in, we started with 4 in both competitions. We're down to 1. And so let's talk about Rivers United before we take a look at the things they are up against. They've made it to the group stage, but then how far do you think they can go?
This is a very interesting question because if you look at Rivers United this season, they've not been up to it. I think they played 10 games in Premier League. They've won only 3. They are 10th on the log. And they are playing against the Angolan side on Sunday. They've not played before, no prior history. The Angolan side, I think they are, is it Edmond or his name skipping your head? Academica, sorry. They are top on the log in the Angolan League. You know, they have a good run. So, of course, confidence is there. On the other side, Rivers United, they had their worries, their woes, ups and downs last season, and they are now in the group stage, now 10th on the log. There's a bit of here and there. Of course, they are doing amazing stuff, get great funding from them, great projects. People have been doing well and all of that, the players, the coaches and all of that. If they're talking tough, as the guys how they can do better on the contender stage, because we've not been doing so well since Enyimba and all of that. Mm-hmm. Although we have a couple of people coming into the newer guys, newer sides coming into the league, into the contender stage. I believe that we're playing at home. We're playing at home. I believe that that's an advantage for us. We have good history playing at home, and especially Rivers United and a couple of other stars, especially guys that come from the south. So I believe that they can get a good result over the weekend.
I hope so. All right. Also, Konakman is suited and ready. Austin, another day to talk sports.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and everyone joining us on the show tonight. Yes, indeed, another day to talk sports. Thank God it's Friday, and so much will be going down in our world of sports this weekend. For emphasis, the English Premier League will be back, and it doesn't, return with a bang when you're going to be having Manchester City taking on Liverpool, and then we've got that London derby between Brentford and Arsenal. So much happening in our world of sport. You guys are talking about what's going on with the CAF Confederation Cup, and for Rivers United, I think they've gotten just enough experience to start proving some points in Africa, and no disrespect to Academica of Angola, or any of the other teams that are in the same group with Rivers United. I think it's only Club Africain that should give them some reasons to worry. But it is what it is. The Rivers United have shown that they can be slippery, particularly when playing on the continent. I think this is an opportunity for the pride of Rivers to correct that impression, particularly with me, because I've seen them play teams and the way it's ended, I start asking questions. Is it the same Rivers United that has shown some good dominance, in the last 3 years? We're talking about league football in Nigeria. So, yeah, so much to look forward to this weekend. And we're here to let our viewers know everything that's going on, Yemi.
All right, that's what we'll do. All right, let's show to our viewers. Austin has talked about it. Shegun has talked about it. The fixtures for this weekend, Group C to be precise. That's where the emphasis is. CAF Confederation Cup round 1. Let me just quickly pop up to the screen and look at it. Of course, Rivers United, just like Shegun said, just like Austin alluded to, Nigeria's Rivers United, the sole representative for Nigeria. The only remaining team at this stage will be up against Academica of Angola. Club Africain of Tunisia will be up against Dreams of Ghana. At this point, we are really concerned about what happens with Rivers United. Also, let me get your thoughts, even though we probably have to move fast away from this, but Rivers United have, in the last few years, gotten a lot of support from government, and there's always this confidence that if that support remains, they will get it right at some point.
Definitely. That's what you need. You need to keep supporting these teams. And we've said it that part of the reasons why teams aren't doing well in Nigerian football is because majority of the teams are government owned. But shout out to the former governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike. At the time he was governor, he did a lot to empower the team. And I'm sure the current leadership, they would want to sustain that momentum. Rivers United is actually one team in Nigeria's, league football that has gotten a rich and experienced, and let me also add, consistent technical crew. Stanley Eguma has been with this team forever, and he works with people that he wants to work with. It gets the opportunity to recruit players, particularly top players that have been to top teams in Nigeria. So that support is very important here, but as I said earlier in my opening remarks, I still expect so much from Rivers United, particularly the way they play their slippery football. You remember how they even got to this stage, how they got all of us, biting our nails and having our hands on our cheeks, waited till the last minute to score 2 goals, to make it to the group phase. You don't do that, particularly at the group phase. When you have a business to be done, just get it done. When you go away from home and you're traveling with some level of hope, keep those hopes alive. And that's what Rivers United haven't done in the last 2 years that they've been playing on the continent. So this starting game against Academica on Sunday, it's one that they must use to launch themselves properly. Prove a point with that game, Yemi. Use it to say thank you to whoever is supporting you. Use it to say thank you to your fans. Use it to renew confidence. Use it to make, a loud statement that with this group stage, we are here to prove a point. And I think there's no other place to sustain momentum when you build it other than when you get to the group stage, because here you can even start seeing the money. This is the money-spinning group stage, and as you advance, you make more money. They should be able to look at Eimba and see what Eimba has done in terms of not just dominating Africa when they did, but that now Eimba can command some level of revenue because of the name and respect they have in Africa. I think Rivers United have that quality also to get into that mix, Yemi.
All right. Shegun, before we go to the Nigeria Professional Football League, let me just allow you a few seconds. What do you think is going to happen when these two teams play? Easy win for Rivers, they're going to struggle, or you think Academica can get away with a point?
If you look at Academica, they are relatively, they're not so much that of experience on the continental stage, but they are high flying right at the moment in time. They're like, getting the results. They're top of the league in their league. Rivers United on the other side, they're not necessarily fine on confidence. Won 3 games, I think drawn 2 games. They're on 9 points. Is it 10, 12 points in the league? So I believe that's the cause for worry for them. And sometimes league form try to tantamount into going into continental form. Yeah, we know that.
Refusing to take a call.
Yeah, although that on the continental side, there are a lot of things that are, but Rivers they're on the home soil, so hopefully they'll get the results. It won't be an easy result for them. Never. Okay. But hopefully they should get the result.
All right. Shegun Vincent smartly dancing around my question. All right, let's move on now and talk about Nigeria Professional Football League. Of course, I'll reel out the fixtures. Then of course, Austin will talk about the other things that follows it up. All right, so Saturday's fixtures is what we want to start with. Heartland will take on, of course, so the Oriental Derby. Heartland will take on the Aba Elephants, Eimba. You have Remo Stars taking on Doma United. This matches will be played on Saturday. Match day 10 fixtures is what you have on your screen. Then on Sunday, you have Abia Warriors up against the Flying Antelopes, Enugu Rangers. Kano Pillars will be up against Bendel Insurance. Casina United up against Bayelsa United. Kwara United will take on Gombe United. These matches will be played on Sunday. Other matches to be played on Sunday. You also have Lobby Stars up against Shooting Stars. You have Niger Tornadoes will be up against Aqua United. Sunshine Stars will be up against Sporting Lagos. Of course, that's a Southwest Derby. All right, Allstate, of course, you look at these fixtures. I don't know which one jumps at you. I don't know why my eye keeps going to Sunshine and Sporting Lagos. I also think the game involving Eimba as well, I think there should be something to expect from those two games.
In that same boat with you. I mean, derbies everywhere. We've got two Oriental derbies. Heartland will be taking on Eimba. Big game for the People's Elephant. They've won their last two matches, important 6 points that they needed to keep their campaign going. They defeated Lobby Stars, and then they went on to beat Bendel Insurance 2-1 in their last game. And getting something over a winless Heartland, it's rather struggling Heartland, will be a good one for Eimba. And there's also Abia Warriors taking on Rangers. That's another fantastic Oriental derby to look forward to. You know, Rangers and all of the rebranding they're doing and all of the points they're trying to prove this season, they come under a big test against Abia Warriors. Whenever Abia Warriors sees any of those big teams from the East, talking about Eimba, Heartland, or Rangers International, they tend to put on their best game and, you know, get some results out of it. So definitely that should get us talking. And not just the game between Shooting Stars, Sunshine Stars and Sporting Lagos. That's another big derby in the Southwest. There's also Remo Stars and Doma United. Why am I picking that game? I'm picking that game because those are two teams that are trying to flex muscles. Those are teams that are saying, we can chill with the big boys, you know? And I would like to see what Doma United can do at Remo Stars. Definitely that we get our league football going from Saturday, while we look forward to the fixtures on Sunday. Big fixtures everywhere. I see Kano Pillars versus Bendel Insurance. Bendel Insurance needs to pick themselves back up. They need to get back to winning ways. The last two results haven't gone their favor. So let's see what they can do against an intimidating Kano Pillars at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. That one should definitely get us talking. Niger Tornadoes will take on Aqua United. Aqua United seems to be getting their season back on track now. A big test for them against Niger Tornadoes. What can they do? Can they get a point on the road? Can they prove a point again that they can, you know, get off to a bad start and then find some way to stabilize? It's the Nigeria Premier Football League, Yemi. I would love it when we get good reasons to talk about some of these matches and then they turn out the way we've talked about them. For Saturday, which is tomorrow, is Heartland taking on Eimba, Remo Stars going against Doma United, and Plateau United taking on Rivers United. That game definitely will not happen. So I'm looking forward to it. I like everything that has happened so far. I'm still waiting to see more surprises. I still want to see more wins on the road. I still want to see some stunning goals. I still want to see some technical expertise from the coaching crew of one of the teams in the NPFL. I think it's time to grow, Yemi.
Yeah, I think it is. All right, let's put a pause on, discussion around football. Let's go to handball. Of course, we have joining us now via Zoom the president of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, Samuel Osheo. He joins us now. Greetings to you, sir. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show.
Thank you very much, and good evening to you.
I'll throw this one in quickly. My colleague will also have a few questions for you. We've spoken to you a couple of times, and in all honesty, one would be impressed with some of the activities of the Handball Federation in Nigeria. But I want you to cast your mind back to the time you just got in and now, the level of interest in handball among youths in Nigeria, do you think there has been a change? Because at that point, I think we spoke to you a few times before, we talked about apathy, we talked about people not seeming to be interested, but with all the activities, the league and all the things, has anything changed in your view?
If you ask me, I think the jury is out there. I think the interest in handball has changed significantly among the youths, even among you journalists. I think you hear more of handball today than you used to hear in the past. And so it means that we are doing something right. It means that our activities is catching the limelight. I don't know if you can see me. Sorry, I think there's some.
Just go on. Just go on. I can hear you.
So
Yeah.
activities are catching the limelight, and things are getting better than it used to be. If you ask me, from even a social media perspective or from the general publicity perspective, I think handball is regaining its former spot again among the Committee of Sports in Nigeria.
All right, let me also throw this one in quickly before I yield to my colleague. Well, as good as it might appear to be, what are the areas that you feel handball could appreciate if it gets support, or what are some of the things you want to achieve in the nearest future?
Well, I think for me, I still want to continue to build on youth development. I remember even in your studio, one of the things I said at the beginning of my tenure was that I would love to start driving from Lagos all the way to Kogi State and see youths and children playing handball along the streets or in the corners around schools and all. We are not yet there. And so the whole issue of grassroots sport development and youth initiatives, those are things that I would like to continue with. If you look at my national team today, you'll find out that most of the 90% of the team are made up of people who were playing under 15, under 12 way back in 2018. We've seen tremendous changes among these boys. There's so much interest across the country. Even the young ones now want to play handball, and they want to do it in greater people. Some of our players have gone out of the country, and people are beginning to use them as role models that they want to copy in the future.
I love it. Let me take you back to when you became president. I had a conversation with you, and you said we need to give attention to the league. Now we've got league handball going on in Nigeria. Has it really contributed to the development of the sports in the country?
I must say that the league in the last 6 years has been very instrumental to finding new talent, instrumental to bringing the youths from underage competitions to the Premier League, and it's been very instrumental in developing the competitive spirit among our players. If you ask me, I think the sponsorship we had over the last 6 years has been very, very instrumental to the development of handball in Nigeria.
Awesome. Has it also contributed to giving players to the national team?
Oh, of course. I mean, without the league, I don't think we will have recorded the level of success we've recorded among our national teams. We've recorded tremendous success in our under-18 national team and even at the under-20 level. The senior national team, we've not gotten the kind of success we want, but we are happy that the building blocks are in place. If we're having success at the under-8 level, we hope and we believe that it's going to transcend into the senior national team very, very soon.
I love it. Samuel Ocheho, just stay right there. We'll come back to you. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We'll have the president of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, Samuel Ocheho, talking to us about the Handball League. The second phase of the league is going on in Lagos now. What's the quality of the game? What can it do in developing handball in Nigeria? Those are some of the things we're trying to get from the president. But let's go on this quick break. When we come back, more handball to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Stay.
Welcome back. We still have the president of the Handball Federation, Samuel Ocheo, with us. We've been talking about issues related to handball in Nigeria. And Mr. President, thank you for being with us. I also want to follow up from some of the things that Austin has talked about, and talking about the league providing players for the national teams. Let's also ask, in terms of competition, in terms of being competitive, how do we rate against fellow African teams, African countries rather?
Well, in terms of competition, I think the North African teams are way ahead of the rest of the pack. We've got a lot to learn from the North African teams. They are very committed to the development of sport. They spend a lot to develop sport among the North African countries. And then one of the key advantage they have over the rest of us is that they are very close to the European countries. And so they could just take a budget plane and fly into Europe, while the rest of us from this side, especially the West, we do not have strong teams to compete against. So that has given them a strong edge. But again, they've committed so much funding into the development of sport, and so they are reaping it. If I recall, Egypt was among the best 4 countries at the last edition of the World Cup that was hosted in Egypt. We are still, for a long while we were off the track, we were comatose. So for us, over the last 6 years, we've just been building and putting things in place. We hope that sometimes in the future, we'll be able to compete with the North Africans again, and we'll begin to take our pride of, our real place in the Committee of Nations in handball. But for now, I think it's just still a transition phase, and we're still building blocks.
Let's talk about the second phase of the league that is happening in Lagos. Samuel Ocheo, what's the quality of play that you've seen at the league?
Austin, I must say, you can only imagine the quality that has been displayed. The level of upset has been tremendous. There was, I never expected what I saw. Some of the teams that have beating other teams, you would never have thought they could. If you were one of those that do sporting bet, you probably would have lost all your money with the way outcomes have come out of this league. But it is clear that Nigeria is running away with the trophy, and from all indications, I think Nigeria will emerge champions in the male category, while safety shooters will emerge champions in the female category.
And what are some of the lessons we can learn from Niger United? I think they've dominated the league for some time. What is it that is happening up north that other regions can emulate?
Well, I would say the team, if you ask me, the team that has really dominated will be Kano Pillars. They are the defending champions, and they've not done well this time around compared to what they were. Niger actually won the very first edition in 2018. And they are back winning it this time. But Kano has won it 3 times in the last 6 years. So Kano has been the dominant force. But again, in Nigeria, I think the Northerners are more committed to the development of handball than those in the south or south, southeast, southwest, and all. So, and they keep reaping the benefit. But they are beginning to be strongly challenged. I think there's a new kid in the block called Toje Marine, who is currently ranked 2nd. Probably in the future, they might be able to dominate the scene because they're a bunch of young boys.
Before we let you go, you just mentioned since 2018, we've been having the league. This is 2023. Well done to you and your team. How important is it for us to keep this league running?
It's very, very important. A country that has no league, or a sport that has no league, is doomed for failure, if you ask me. The league is very, very important. It keeps the players in shape. It gives them an opportunity to play. And I can't imagine the league stopping, because anytime the league stops, we have just signed the death warrant for our sport.
Wow. Let me pass you back to Yemi in Lagos just to wrap up the show.
Thank you.
All right. Again, I just want to thank you. I think we've exhausted most of the questions we wanted to ask, and hopefully you'll continue with some of the good things you've been doing, your federation has been doing for handball in Nigeria. So on that note, I want to say thank you for your time on the show. We'll do this again some other time.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's switch gears now and, of course, return to football. Some say is the king of sports. Let's talk about the English Premier League. A lot of things happening in the English Premier League. I don't even know where to start. But let's start with the fixtures. Let me just quickly go and reel it out. And on Saturday, easily, pick of the pack, Manchester City and Liverpool. For the last 6 years, these two teams have dominated English football. No other team has won the English Premier League aside these two. And so you have Burnley up against West Ham, Luton Town up against Crystal Palace, Newcastle United will take on Chelsea. Has Chelsea been able to turn the corner? We'll see. Nottingham Forest will take on Brighton. Sheffield United will take on Bournemouth. Brentford will take on Arsenal. These are the matches that will be played tomorrow. Then on Sunday, you have Tottenham Hotspur will take on Aston Villa. Everton will take on Manchester United. And, of course, Fulham will take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. All right. Let me go to Shegun quickly. Just give me your take. I mean, we don't need to kid ourselves. Manchester City, Liverpool. That's what everybody's talking about. Right. And so, in the build-up to this game, your thoughts?
You know, at first, before doing the international break last week, they said that some players won't be playing. But hopefully for Man City, they are resumed training on Thursday, so a lot of the players will be available, most likely available for tomorrow. Man City have a precedent of when they play their home games against top side, they almost never lose the game. So I see Man City winning or drawing that game. Liverpool will go on with the fight. You know, they want to, because Liverpool have been tipped to one of the cornerstones or the chief cornerstones of the league this season. They're going to fight Man City for the title. Liverpool to have their cracks in the wall, in their house. Man City to have their cracks. I'm just trying to rush through and see how it pans out. Man City will a draw for that game. And you know what happened the level before the national break, the parties that they had against Chelsea, they lost control in those moments, and that's why Chelsea was to come back. Of course, Chelsea gave them a tough time on the break, you know, which was on the tide, you know. When you are playing expensive football, these are the issues that come up with it. But let's say answer for Man City, and the man to watch out for is Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland. All right, let's quickly listen to the manager of Manchester City, Pep Guardiola himself. Let's hear him talk about some issues. Of course, we know what has happened with Everton. He has said a few things about that, and he also talked about the game against Liverpool.
It's not the case because this is the judge and the courts and the Premier League lawyers and our lawyers to at the end make our defense, both defense in front of the judge, and after he go decide. I didn't change 1 second my opinion about take time, wait and see what they're going to decide, and after we'll accept the resolution. So all of you are journalists, and of course I'm not going to say one word about Everton because I don't know the reality or really happened. You are journalists, maybe you know, but that is for sure because I asked to the team. That is two completely different cases, but completely. I know when the people like saying, okay, what City, why don't go to the conference? Wait, wait. And after, what's going to happen is going to happen. You're questioning me like we have been punished. And in that moment, we are innocent. The guilt is proven. So I know the people want it. I know it, I feel it. But wait and see it, and the sentence will be done, and after we come here and explain you. But absolutely, we're not considering my future. It depends being here or being in League One. Absolutely not. There's more chance to stay if I'm in League One that we win the Champions League. Always have been our best rivals, and sometimes when the season didn't work well, was many injuries they had. Top club, top team, and yeah, looking forward for it.
All right, I mean, you have to respect how Pep Guardiola handles press conferences. I mean, you just have to respect the calmness, the intelligence, and the way he fools the opponents by making it look like as if he fears the opponent. But Austin, I mean, your thoughts. That there has been its talk about. I mean, and Pep Guardiola responded that he knows a lot of people want to see Manchester City punished, but he said, "Look, we've not been found guilty of anything, so I don't know why." Anybody, even we'll listen to Jurgen Klopp. Even the journalists were trying to get Klopp to say something about this matter. I think we've not heard the last of all of these things.
And that's all we can do as journalists, I don't blame my colleagues. They can only press, to get those responses. And these guys are newsworthy personalities that we can attribute to put credible stories out there. So whenever they try not to talk about it, it makes the job difficult. But shout out to Pep Guardiola with the way he handled that question, because Manchester City, they've been on the ice. I'm sure the independent commission, they are still probing the financial papers of Manchester City just to see how they can come out on them. But it was true. He said, look, it's straightforward. If the jury is not out, just calm down. Don't anticipate anything. I can't comment about Everton. I don't know much about what has happened. He threw it back to the journalist. I think it's just about staying focused. He has a big game against Liverpool tomorrow, and they've been on a fine run. If not for that 4-4 draw against Chelsea, it would have been 5 games and 5 wins. So at the moment for them, it's a draw and 4 wins. While Liverpool, it's a draw, a loss, and 3 wins. So if you want to go on paper as a pundit, you want to say advantage Manchester City. And aside what has happened this season with Chelsea and one other game that they lost, they are not bad travelers, So we're going to have a big game on our hands tomorrow, early kickoff, 12:30 UK time. I think it's about 1:30 in Nigeria when Manchester City and Liverpool will clash. You say you love listening to Pep Guardiola. I also love listening to Jurgen Klopp, because that's one person that when he wants to give it to the media, he gives it to us hot. And when he doesn't want to talk, he just sleeps and let it pass. Let's listen to Jurgen Klopp ahead of that big game against Manchester City.
I was absolutely not in the subject. To be honest, I was. Did I know that there was a? No, I don't think I knew it. I just heard about it at 10 points, and now there's a lot of discussion. What I heard, they appeal it, and that's it. Everybody would do that probably, but that's all I can say about it. Saturday is a big one, no doubt about that. It's the strongest team in the world for the last years, and so that's a massive task for each football team in the world, for us as well, but we will give it a try anyway.
Yeah, and that's all they can do, give it a try, go out there and then prove that they're also that sort of team that can be considered a big team. And I'm sure if you guys had to put money on top of this sort of game, it will be really, really difficult.
Let me allow Shegun to say something. I agree it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult, but you need to understand that the pendulum swing. Man City are at home. Man City have not lost to Liverpool in the league at home under Pep Guardiola. They've only lost once, and that's the Champions League. And that happened only once. They haven't lost in the league at home. So that's a precedent. And Man City have a way, under Guardiola, have a way of playing their home games. They almost batter, last season, they beat them.
Teams that you should say are their rivals.
They beat them as in of course, we won't have that 4-1 that we had last season. But we're going to have a very festive game, an open game, a game of 2 ends, open, attractive football. Man City are going to play their game, Liverpool are going to want to play their boom football, probably want to hit them on the break, fast break football and all of that. I feel like Man City aren't going to lose this game because they are home. Not necessarily because they cannot lose or something like that, but I feel that because they are home, it gives them the advantage. And the Etihad, I think when, what's the name of this guy, Guardiola came to City, he said that the Etihad is a fortress, and when they were playing in Leipzig, because they beat Leipzig, I think 6-1 or 7-1 in the Champions League, I think quarterfinals, semifinals, quarterfinals or second round, I can't remember exactly, last season. He said that it has a fortress, and the hosts, the fans, it's something getting very close to Anfield. It's not yet there yet, because Anfield's on another level, because they've been around for a while, and history and all of that. Man City are not building their history. So I feel like them being at home, and the players coming back to is an advantage again. And people say that maybe if De Bruyne was in the team, they could have done better and all of that, but they're not necessarily missing De Bruyne in context. They are missing him, not about that, but how they are playing without him.
It's not a big factor.
It's not a big factor. Of course, if he was in the team, would have changed the dynamics of the team. Especially maybe against Wolves or against Arsenal, they lost, or against Chelsea, they have done something. He does. Probably Haaland has scored more goals. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe.
But the travesty of the team is that they have found a way to play without him, and that's one of the things they've been able to do. The only player they've not been able to play without is Rodri, because Rodri is
irreplaceable.
He is the system.
Irreplaceable.
So
all right.
Hopefully, let's say I pass that tomorrow, and I wish them all the best.
All right, may the best team win. All right, Austin, let's talk about Everton. You probably have some information for us. I mean, I feel so sorry for Ruza anyway, but you want to feel sorry for Showdown. You feel, look, this is a man who knows how to deal with this kind of situations, but sometimes it's good not to be in this kind of situations. And he's been talking. But first, Austin, I don't know your thoughts. It's a huge blow, but then again, the consolation is if there's somebody other than Sam Allardyce who can get you out of this kind of situation, it's Showdown.
I've been listening to him. He's been saying that he doesn't want to be in this sort of situation. I've been listening to ex-Everton players, and they're saying that, look, they just need to pick themselves back up, that whatever happened has happened. They were on 14 points, 10 points gone now. They are on 4 points. They're second at the bottom of the table. Really, really difficult. Showdown was trying to gain some stability with this team. In the last 2 seasons, they've been fighting relegation, and now this financial fair play rules has just put them in a very difficult situation. So they have a big game against Manchester United on Sunday, and he's saying, look, this is a very difficult situation for us, but he's still shocked. Just talking about Showdown, but they have to do what they can to see if they can get something out of that game against Manchester United.
All right, let's listen to Showdown talk about the whole situation, and I will come back to talk some more on the English Premier League.
On your team.
I think, like everyone, well, certainly everyone in these parts was shocked, and seemingly the wave of noise after that seemed like most people in football, around football, are shocked. The enormity of it, disproportionate, is a word that's been used by the club, and so obviously we're going to feel a bit aggrieved by that. On the other hand, it doesn't change the focus. The focus since I got here has been sorting things out on the pitch, getting the team to win, getting the team to feel different, the performances to be different. And we were obviously on the right lines for that, and delivering strong performances, I felt. And then this has just given us a push backwards to then come forwards again. That's the job hasn't changed for me. It's just made it more difficult in the current circumstances until the appeal, of course. Well, I spoke to the group and I said, look, the league table is one thing, but I don't change my story very often. At the end of the day, I've always believed that the final league table was the truth of the season. So I'm not going to change that now. I said, look, lads, it's for sure it changed the viewpoint, but it doesn't change what we're doing. In fact, it enhances what we're doing. It just means we've got to go harder for longer and stronger, play stronger. So they're the rules of football. This is what it is. So it's been more about refocus than anything. The group have been very good in themselves, I must say. With the characters we've got, particularly Seamus is a good voice, and Youngie with his experience, Tarky, Jordan, and many others, by the way. Ganner and people like that with their experience. Duke, all the senior boys particularly rallying and going, look, it is what it is. Let's get on with it type thing. So I think that's been the clear message from me to the players and from them to each other is let's take it on. Let's take on the next challenge. There's been plenty of them since I've been here. So let's take this one on.
While you've talked.
All right, it is what it is. Let's get on with it. Shegun, I know we're pressed for time, but huge blow. I don't know if it was you or me, and he's a bit more livelier than that. It looks and sounds subdued.
Yeah, he's a lively guy. Like Klopp. It's someone like drinking tea or coffee on the table.
Bubbly.
But 10 points.
It's not easy.
This isn't just a disadvantage. They've not had the good form this season. 10 points again. And last season they had to. I think they brought him midway between the season. I think midway the season they will have to start going back. Are they going to bring back the back of our coaches like him or Sam Allardyce? Remember what happened when they brought Sam Allardyce too? These are the issues that are going to become, of course. the likelihood of him staying to the end of the season is very, very low. Now that the 10 points makes it lower. I know what I always say, there are two types of coaches. Those are sacked, those are waiting to be sacked, and those are sacked. He is waiting to be sacked. And in fact, the timing is very, very short. Not with another 10-point deduction. And the truth of the matter is, there are two sides to the coin. Maybe Everton did their own work very well. There are pointers towards Man U now and Chelsea and Man City, but that's a story for another. They won't live here if we start to discover this. But better than ever now. They have to do what they call crisis management. What they're going to do? Are they going to salvage points? Probably they will have to. You know, I think they managed to avoid relegation last season. I think it was towards the end of the season that they had to get some point. Yeah, you know. So I believe that a lot of things have to be done right for them now. Probably are they going to have to sell players? Are they going to have to balance the books? These are issues. What do we do to prevent this issue again next time? What do we do? How do we salvage points? And of course, Everton have been like Man City, you know, trying to want to break even into the top 4. They haven't been able to do that. Now that they employed Sonjai, we know he doesn't play attractive football. He plays
They're in survival mode.
So they have to keep playing survival football.
All right. Okay. So we're on the home stretch now. We're probably a few minutes before we hand it up. Let me go to Austin and get his thoughts on this. Probably the last thing we're going to be talking about. I mean, time flies. 10 years ago, Valentine's Day.
I know.
It's. I can still remember when I heard it, Oscar Pistorius. Did he do it? You know, but now after 10 years, you know, story has changed. It might be getting out, but you know, conflicting standpoints. Some say, look, you should be getting parole if you have. I mean, what's the right word now? You should be getting parole if you have confessed or you're a changed man. Mm-hmm. And some people say, look, there's nothing that shows that this man is changed. And somehow of the belief that, look, well, he has paid for what he has done. But I don't know where you stand on this. It's a very touchy subject. I'm very careful with the things I'm saying.
I know, Yemi. I know we struggled to also analyze this Oscar Pistorius issue. We try not to bring those court conversations to sports analysis. But yes, it's nearly 11 years. It was on Valentine's Day in 2013 that Oscar Pistorius shot his girlfriend, June Steenkamp, several times through the bathroom door. He claimed he mistook her for a burglar at his home in Pretoria. He was sentenced by a South African court in 2016 to serve 13 years and 5 months in prison. The parole board has now set his release for 5th of January 2024. He's 37 now, former Paralympic champion, fantastic blade runner. I'm just hoping to see what's next for this guy. But you know what? Let's listen to the Corrections Service spokesman. They're talking more about this. I think they're in a better position to talk about it than me.
The parole placement for Mr. Oscar Pistorius has been confirmed effectively from the 5th of January 2024. What will happen from now until the month of January 2024 will be what we call a pre-release program. That's where an inmate is prepared for life outside of a correctional facility. Just like all other parolees, Mr. Pistorius will be monitored by our officials based within the system of community corrections, and until that will happen until such time that his sentence expires, because we always make it a point that parole placement does not mean the end of a sentence, but it merely says that you will complete your sentence outside of a correctional facility, which is part and parcel of rehabilitation efforts.
Following Reeva's death, Barry and I, both devastated, tried with whatever emotional reserve that remained to take care and support one another. And then the unthinkable happened. My Barry passed away on 14 September 2023. What he meant in my life and the extent of his support have now crystallized into what remains after an unending black hole of pain and loneliness. I'm not convinced that Oscar has been rehabilitated. Rehabilitation requires someone to engage honestly with the full truth of his crime and the consequences thereof. Nobody can claim to have remorse if they're not able to engage fully with the truth. If someone does not show remorse, they cannot be considered to be rehabilitated. And we want to live in a country where those rules and regulations are applied evenly across the board without fear or favour. And if those are the rules and Pistorius has met the requirements, then so be it.
Yeah, so that was why I said we should leave the conversation to those officials who know it so well. Just to set the record straight, I said June Steenkamp was the girlfriend Oscar Pistorius should know. June Steenkamp is the mom of Riva Steenkamp, just to set the record straight. Starts the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap on the show, but first, I want to thank Shengu Vizet for his time on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good to have you, and hopefully my guests will go next week.
All right. It's good to see you again. All right, that's the show today. We do hope you've enjoyed everything. Enjoy your weekend. You'll see us next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.